Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast. I am your host, Dantes, and joining me, like always, the man, the legend, the Splatoon masturbator, Caleones. I mean, masturbator, to clarify. Master, like Star Wars. Anyway,
No,
how
no,
you doing,
no, no.
Caleones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And please, no Star Wars related stuff. We already ranted for like an hour and 15 minutes yesterday, and I promised myself I was not gonna talk about The Last Jedi or anything Star Wars related until next year. So I'm gonna take a break from it, breathe, and just breathe, and just distance myself from it so I can not go crazy by how awful it was. But yeah, but Dantes, just go ahead and take it over. We're only going to be talking about Nintendo news here, and that's what matters. So take it away.
And we're happy to be back. I know I apologize. We've been out. I was sick, but Caleones sold the fort really nice. Today, this is the last show of 2017. We will be back to our normal schedule programming next year. So please wait for that. Quickly, I want to give a little quick impressions. I just want to show this, Caleones. Look at that beauty. That controller is one sexy-ass controller. This Xenoblade controller. I love playing with it. There's the little box here, too. Look at that metal casing. Nice. So I wanted to give quick impressions. I'm enjoying the game, but
And
there's things that
you have
bother
the
me.
unboxing video also.
Oh, yeah. There's an unboxing video if you guys want to see that. So, I mean, I've been enjoying the game, but I admit there's stuff in it that I don't like at all. So I don't like the how you get blades with the common cores, that the randomness of it. I like more control in my games. I don't like that the affinity got removed from the towns. You guys played the original, you know what I mean. And I also don't like, and this is a little bit maybe nitpicking, I don't like that when you face the unique monster, the music is not that good. But thank you. We're lucky enough that when we fight normal monsters, the music is awesome. So at least I get that. And we fight bosses, the music is awesome. The music is the game is awesome. It's just that when I fight unique monster, I just love the original music. But anyway, aside from that, just saying all that fun jazz. Hello guys, hello, welcome. Fill up the chat. Let's do our rigmarole so we start the show because we got a big show. We've been out for 2 weeks, close to 2 weeks. So we got a big show. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody to the Get In, Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 27, every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Please remember, if you don't want to see our ugly faces, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Downloads over there for free. Also, hey, give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. So you can make these two crazy MS happy. Also, please remember, we do have a Facebook page called Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, Caleones, are you ready? I'm going to see if I can do this because I'm still recovering my voice. Are you ready? For the no one in attendance and the I don't know how many people watching around the world, let's get ready for Reggie's News Center.
My body is ready.
My body's ready. Welcome, everybody. Take it away, Caleones.
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? And to the people on the chat, thank you for visiting, being here. And this goes to for Hypebeast, for Dig, Margie, Dantes the Gamer, Swagster, Play Games. All of you guys, thank you for being a part of it. And yeah, I'm glad that we're back over here. Dantes, he had lost his voice. Too many shouting matches and shouting instructions at work, so that takes a toll on you. But to start it off, and this is something that you guys have already heard for the past week and a half, and since we haven't been able to do the podcast, we haven't covered it. But going with the first piece of news is that Mega Man 11 will be getting a release date, a physical release and digital release on the Nintendo Switch. So that was big news. That Capcom had. Really glad that they're embracing the Switch finally and embracing it fully. Every single one of the Mega Man games will be on the Nintendo Switch, so that's welcome news. So what do you think about that, Dantes?
I'm good. I'm a Mega Man fan. I am gonna buy the collection on the Switch. That's a game I'm gonna get. I'm gonna buy because this is a big news. Let's encapsulate it, Caleones. They announced Mega Man 11. They announced the Mega Man collection, and they announced the Mega Man X collection. So all that Mega Man goodness coming to your Switch, and it feels right. Mega Man, it feels just right at home at Nintendo, right? This is the old school way to play Mega Man. So I am ready. I am set. I am pumped. So I will buy the all on the Switch, and I'm gonna beat all those games. That way I can pad my list for next year, since it seems like my Switch gaming is gonna be low a little bit next year. I'm hoping not, because I had so much fun with the Switch this year. But I'm pumped. It's all good news, Caleones.
And yeah, I mean that pretty much covers what we're going to be talking about, which is the Mega Man 11. Of course, 1 through 10 are going to be out from the Mega Man X games. 1 through 8 are going to be out on the Switch as well. So that's really great news. So and I'm going to be getting all of them because there's a couple of them I haven't played. I haven't really been collecting and going through the different systems just to gather all of them. But finally, they're going to be in one place, and I'm pretty sure it's going to do well. So. Yeah, we're going to see more from Capcom. But going over to the talking about the Game Awards, they have a list of winners, and pretty much we did a brief summary of like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, how they did overall. So we had like Nier Automata won best music score, but I think aside from the all the drama that we had from PUBG, being nominated and probably possibly winning Game of the Year. Thankfully, it didn't, because after the early access, the release on the Xbox, it's been taking a hit. But rightfully so. Pretty much, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild ran with all the awards, including Game of the Year. So, any notable, I guess like winners on there, or how do you think Nintendo did?
Nintendo did great. I mean, Zelda Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year. I suspected that was going to happen, and it's the game that deserves to win Game of the Year, honestly. So I was happy that Zelda won. Mario won Best Family Game, so at least a little bit of props to Mario, too. Zelda won Best Adventure Game. So Nintendo had a great showing, and something else that they show on the Game Awards, which we'll talk about a little bit later, about a little surprise that they showed. I feel this is one of the best Nintendo showing on the Game Awards, so it was fun, and I was happy. Oh, and the big surprise, of course, which we'll talk about in today's Anuma's Nintendo discussion, was how they announced the Champions Ballad for the Zelda Breath of the Wild. So it was a jam-packed show, Caleones, and I was pumped. I liked the show. They had no voice at all, but I liked the show, and I was so happy when they announced the Champions Ballad, because I stopped playing Xenoblade that weekend just to finish it, which had good time with it. So good show.
Yeah, I mean it was a great show. I mean I was like connected to Twitter, seeing the people's reaction, and everybody was happy that Legend of Zelda was able to win the award, and because it really did deserve it. But moving along, we have this is coming from Japan, and moving away from the Game Awards, which we'll cover later, and that it's from a game that starts with a B, but Nintendo Switch has sold over 2.5 million units in 2017 in Japan only. This is Japan only. Which means that they're already halfway through the number of like PS4s sold. Even though PS4 is still selling pretty well over there, but is it surprising to see that like 2.5 million units already sold in Japan?
No, I keep saying that I think the Switch is gonna win Japan. So 2.5 million, it's gonna pass Sony in a couple of years, I believe, maybe in 1 year. The way that thing is selling over there. So yeah, I'm not surprised, dude. I think it's great. I think it's good that Nintendo it's own in Japan, because that means, again, more games are gonna come for the Switch, and that way you can have good RPGs. I think Nintendo Switch is gonna become an RPG machine. So hey, good numbers, Caleones.
Yeah, and just this last week, it sold 124,000 like units as well. The 3DS sold another 36,000. And we had Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It had a debut of 97,000 units sold in Japan. Granted, This is only physical copies. It doesn't track digital. And even though some people may not consider it as high, but it's actually the highest debut of any Xenoblade game in history. So that's pretty good news for the game.
And just to add to that, the Xenoblade game was #1 in the eShop for the last couple of weeks, so it's been selling digitally. Sounds like pretty well. So we'll see how it keeps going, but how I take this game, I don't know if we'll see. I'm gonna leave my judgment until I beat the game, but I'm just happy that it's selling because that means that at least they'll get a chance or a crack to get Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or X2, whatever, in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, aside from us, being excited about the games and everything, we also have Kazuhiko Takeda from Sony, and I quote, he stated, "We can't ignore the Nintendo Switch, which has captured consumers' attention." So they had a small Q&A, which he said, they asked him, so it's possible Sony could exceed its profit forecast, which they're in the green, they're doing great, and selling as much as ever, which they had, I think, the highest November since the console came out, or over what they had when they launched initially. But what sort of issues is it that they're encountering, and what is it that they're looking forward to? And that's seeing Nintendo more so now, I guess, as a competition, even though Nintendo is a hybrid, it's a home console, but it's also a handheld. But initially, you would think that people would be buying this the PlayStation and buying the Switch alongside and getting both of them together. But it seems like Sony feels that Nintendo could be creeping in their territory, and that's one of the things that they're worried about. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I'm just gonna add to that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at here. I'm having buffering issues right now, so I don't know if my online is giving me shit right now, but I apologize for that, guys. I will say that I think it's good that Sony's treating Nintendo as competition. It should be that way because that's going to make them even better, and they're going to work harder to maintain their #1 place, right? And competition is good because as Nintendo comes up and they're saying, oh, we're losing the Japanese market. They are losing the Japanese market. That is the truth. That is a fact. They're going to work harder, get more Japanese games, which is the type of games that I typically like, RPGs and stuff like that, to the PlayStation. Starting next year with Ni no Kuni. Awesome game. So we'll see what happens. I am happy that Sony's taking Nintendo seriously. It should be that way. In the same way that Nintendo should take Sony seriously because they, that competition just brings more better good things for us, the consumer. And that's what matters at the end. So.
Yeah, I wish, and it should, because at some point, video games are video games. It doesn't matter what format people are playing. If they're playing a game, it's taking away time from another game that they could be playing. And in this case, it's not necessarily like the console itself, but it's how many games the Nintendo Switch is selling. And like Dantes said, games that usually would be found on Sony consoles are slowly moving over to the Switch, especially Japanese games. So they probably see that as a threat. This doesn't mean that they're going to go ahead and come out with the PS Vita 2. It just means that they may have some additional strategies to make sure that consumers stay on their console. But we'll see how that turns out. Yep. Going over for this one, then we have Capcom saying that they would like to port more games to the Nintendo Switch. This comes from Dr. Serkan Toto from Canton Games. He posted on his Twitter account, and he stated that in an interview with the Nikkei, Capcom CEO Sugimoto just served up another Switch teaser. He said that the home plus portable console concept works better than expected, and that Capcom wants to port games to the Switch that were not available on Nintendo consoles previously. So this doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the brand new games coming out. It just means that games that they released for initially on the PS4, maybe on the PS3, maybe on other consoles, that they can eventually find their way over to the Switch. Something like Resident Evil Revelations, even though it was on the 3DS, but it wasn't on like the Wii U or a big consoles like that. So that's why they're thinking about bringing games over like that. So any notable games that you believe they could be bringing?
Let me see. The DMC collection could be something that could show up on the Switch. I think that would be a good idea to bring that DMC collection to the Switch. It's coming and everything else, right? They already announced the Street Fighter collection, the 30-year anniversary Street Fighter collection. That's a sweet deal. And of course, the old Mega Man collections, they're all games that didn't come to the Switch. It was a surprise originally, right? So, I think this is good news. Capcom, I don't know if Resident Evil 7 could be. I don't know if Switch is strong enough for that. But I mean, we got surprised by Doom and Wolfenstein. So I think there's a chance they could port that game if they put the effort on it. Or again, another game, Monster Hunter XX, the one that is on Japan. I think that's a good candidate to come over here to the West. So Capcom has a good catalog that I think could come and really feed the Switch.
Okay, and I mean, not only Capcom are talking about the Nintendo Switch and how much they're liking it and how much it's succeeding, but we also have Square Enix, and then quote, they said that the Switch is a very attractive and important platform for us. As a games company, having that breadth in the portfolio is very important, with the Switch being such a unique piece of hardware. This is Square Enix CEO Yosuke Matsuda who's talking. He said that when we started work on Project Setsuna, the Switch wasn't even out yet. There was no information about it. We really saw out to make this style of games and to make it a home, on a home console. But we didn't really have any particular idea about which console we were going to go for in the planning stage. So if you can remember when Project Setsuna launched on the Switch, it actually sold pretty good, especially when compared to how it had sold on the other consoles as well. So that was the first big success. They do have Lost Sphere coming out in January, and they do have a demo as well. So if you want to, try the game out, you can go ahead and download the demo and play it. So you can get a pretty good idea of it. But now first Capcom and now Square Enix talking about how much they like the console, how much they want to bring over. Aside from that, they also have the Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2, which are going to be coming out this year. And they said that for next year, they're going to be revealing plans about games releasing. So we're waiting on that to see what kind of games they're going to be. But so far so good. Any idea, Dantes?
I think Square is gonna keep supporting Nintendo. I think we're gonna get more surprises. So I don't know exactly what, but I still feel that Final Fantasy 15, the Pocket Edition, will show up. So at some point that should be announced, and that could build a lot of hype there. But I think Square is supporting the Nintendo system really well, and that's what I mean. When you win Japan, you're gonna have those Japanese studios supporting so well, and Square is gonna be one of them. So I'm happy for Nintendo having that much Square support.
Yeah, and he actually hinted on what type of games we might be receiving on the Switch. I mean, he continued talking, and he did say that one of our other big initiatives is to get as many of our past titles available via digital releases. Among the younger generations of gamers, you've got lots of people out there who may have heard of our past titles but have never had an opportunity to play them. So we think that program of porting and transferring the older titles over to the newer platforms, such as the Switch, is very important so that people get that awareness of our back catalog. Just straight ports isn't cutting it. We need to update those and modernize them to make something that works for modern gamers too. So let's say, Square Enix is already talking about bringing games over to the Switch. It could be modern games, like you said, Final Fantasy 15. They're saying that they want to bring their older catalog, and it's not just bring them over. They want to update them. Perhaps better looking graphics, a more modernized system, or just a pretty coat of paint over it. So, but what games, if they do this, Dantes, what games do you want to see first coming over?
I don't know, honestly. Any ideas? Which game you would like to see?
Well, I'll say I'll talk about games that I want to see, but also that could be pretty easy to bring over. Is going to be Final Fantasy 10 and 12, which they've already received the HD remaster. So
Yep.
that could be pretty straightforward. Maybe Final Fantasy 7, the PC version.
Yep.
We could probably see those as well.
At least Final Fantasy 9, I think. I don't know if 7. there's some weird licenses going on that one. I don't know,
Well,
but
something else I would like to see, and this is something that Square Enix is probably going to have to get together with Nintendo and with Monolith Soft, and it's to bring the older Xeno games as well, so we can have the full library of Xeno games. Even though you don't really like the Xeno Saga, but Xenogears I think is one of those games that every single RPG fan needs to play. So hopefully something like that could happen.
yep, yep. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's good. Like I said, Square is supporting Nintendo, so we're good to go.
Okay, and moving over to the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Nintendo, and for those wondering why we still haven't seen the hook shot on the game, Nintendo did comment on it, and they said that we did consider using the hook shot to climb, and then you'd parcel down. This is coming from AG Aonuma, and talking to IGN. But initially, we had the hook shot. It was always that you target something, and that was a game mechanic of itself. So, but that kind of defeated the purpose of what we wanted to accomplish in Breath of the Wild. With the hook shot, we always had to give it towards the end of the game, or else players could just go anywhere. But in these games, you could do that by climbing and parasailing. So basically, one of the biggest things about Breath of the Wild, of course, is the exploration. It's about seeing those mountains, climbing the mountains, and then being able to have a better view of what else is out there. And not only so you can parasail, but so you can get a pretty good scope of the landscape itself. So with a hook shot, that probably would have been lost. So instead of going through the process of climbing, you can just shoot the hook shot, just climb up, and the game probably would have been shorter as well. But is this something that do you want to see an update with the hook shot in the game? Do you feel like it's not really necessary? What do you think of it?
I don't think it's necessary at this point. If they want to include the hook shot, it should be designed properly for Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever they call it, the next one. At this point, the game was designed differently. So the hook shot, I agree, does not fit how they designed this game. It could probably come back, but I think if it comes back, it could be something more puzzle based. Like you would only use it in the puzzle base, inside a temple or something to that extent. But outside in the open world, again, climbing was a big deal of it, unless they do something differently in the future. And the hook shot could be used for just buildings instead of mounting. I don't know. They could come up with something. But the hook shot is an iconic item to Zelda, so I do expect it somehow to come back. That's what makes Link become Spider-Man, basically. So
yeah,
it'll be cool to be back.
And it's not necessarily a mechanic about traveling, because you can use it in battles as well. You can pull
exactly.
like towards your enemies towards you, or different things like that. So you can use it in the battle. So if it doesn't take away from that, or makes it extremely easy, then I'm all for it. As long as the design decisions and it doesn't take away from the game, I would be fine seeing it. If not, it doesn't really hurt the game. The game doesn't really need it, but it is a Zelda item that you've come to expect in the game. So we'll see what happens. But moving on. This is coming from Discord, talking to Glixel, and about the Switch and voice chat on the system. They said, I have thought about the Switch. I have spent many hundreds of hours of my life in that little screen. If Nintendo wants us to power their voice chat, we'd be happy to talk. So, for those of you and myself, especially since we do the streaming Wednesdays, we play Splatoon 2. We get some of the people that are on the chat to play with us. But one of the biggest requests that I have is for them to talk on the stream, to have their voices heard, or just to communicate whenever you're trying to do strategies and things like that. And I mean, it'll be pretty interesting if Nintendo is not working on it on their own, because the alternative that they currently have is not the best one, and it's only it only works on Splatoon 2 anyways. But do you think the Discord could really help Nintendo with it?
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome. I mean, Discord should help Nintendo on voice chat. So Nintendo, you need all the help you can get. Just do it.
Okay, and going over to some sad news. Some would say, but we're talking about the top-rated games of 2017 according to Metacritic. So they have a list of the top 20 games on here, but I'm just gonna read down through the list. And this is something that I actually didn't know until Dantes pointed it, to me, and it's that Super Mario Odyssey is officially the number two highest ranked game of 2017. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has a 97 Metacritic score, with Super Mario Odyssey having a 96. So Dantes, like you said, yes, the game went down. Somebody out there helped doing that. Guys, don't go and DDoS the other person. Don't try to hack them or do anything like that. But either way, it's been a great year for Nintendo. 97 for Breath of the Wild, 96 for Super Mario Odyssey, and going down the list, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with a 92, and well, actually, Bayonetta. They're talking about the PC version, which scored a 90. And yeah, I mean, overall, great year for gaming.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's fine that Odyssey is 96. It was more that I think the Breath of the Wild deserved it more, in my opinion. So if it differentiates by 1 point, who cares? It's still at over 95 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get next year. I'm saying it right now. I don't think we're gonna get another game that it's up in the 95s on Metacritic, in my opinion.
Yeah. As far as Dantes, he is more angry about Horizon Zero Dawn having an 89 than Mario Odyssey having a 96. So
Not at all. Not at all. I really don't care. But still, Horizon was a really good game. Just deserved 1 more point.
yeah. But actually, before I continue, Hypebeast is asking that if he can use a Nintendo gift card to pay for online on the Switch. Well, I mean, they haven't really talked about online yet. They did say that it's gonna be $20 a year. So far, it's free, but they haven't said how you're gonna be paying for it. I'm pretty sure you can. I mean, if you have a gift card, you can do like the eShop where you can put the code, transfer the money from the card over to the eShop, and then use that money to purchase the online. So I'm pretty sure they're probably going to have the same thing. And Nintendo's really big with those cards. Yeah. So I wouldn't really worry about it. If you have a Nintendo gift card, more than likely it will be working for that. But moving along and going back to Capcom again. And hello, Sean Tyler. Street Fighter, the 30th anniversary collection will be coming over to the Switch. And this is a collection of 12 different Street Fighter games. So outside of the 12 Street Fighter games, going all the way from number 1 to like Street Fighter 4 and all the separate versions, 4 of those games are going to be online. So you can play online and duke it out with other people as well. So I guess more good news from Capcom than this.
I mean, it was a surprise after they just put Street Fighter for $40. So I know it sucks because sometimes some people out there is gonna feel like cheated right now, but it is what it is. You had to support Street Fighter to get this Street Fighter, so it's kind of like in a bad spot. Capcom put Nintendo fans a little bit in a bad spot. Oh, if you don't support us, we're not gonna bring more games, and you want those games, then you have to go and support it. So. It's shitty from Capcom, but it is what it is, and I think it's good that at least this game is coming alongside the other systems. Again, we're starting to see those games coming at the same time, so that's good news.
Well, the question would become, Dantes, how much do you think Capcom is going to charge for the game?
$40, I think it is, right?
Well, have they specifically said the price?
I thought it was $40. Yeah, I
okay,
thought it's $40. So. My bad. Well, if it's not, my bad. So.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be over $40. Hopefully, it'll be just that or less. Depending. I'm pretty sure if there's a physical version, it's going to cost more anyways because of the Switch tax. But we'll see on that one. Yeah. Well, and going over to like RPGs, and this is, I guess, one of those things that Square Enix was talking about. They announced that Romancing Saga 2 will be coming on to the Nintendo Switch. It actually did release 3 days ago. So Romancing Saga 2 on the Switch, a game originally released in 1993. It had been available on the PlayStation Vita, on iOS, but for the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, December 15 was when the game released. among the different things that you can look forward to the game is that it's going to have upgraded graphics and audio. It's going to have new character classes, provided added depth and tactical possibilities to gameplay, new dungeons, which provide greater challenges, and a new Game Plus feature, which carries over useful data, attributes, and items into the new game, enabling players to obtain missed items or save purely sacrifice land and companions. So basically, for you completionists, if you finish the game, you haven't found certain things, you can do a Game Plus, go back and find everything that you found. So I know that you don't have too much time to play games on this, but what do you think of this?
Again, more RPGs. Next year, I'm declaring the year of the RPG. So for the Switch, even though I know I'm going to be playing on PlayStation, but it's still in the Switch, I'm going to play The Lost Sphere and I Am Setsuna next year. So those are two games that I'm looking forward to. The other game I'm playing is Ni no Kuni. I'm playing that game too next year. And I'm playing Persona 5 next year. So it's 4 RPGs that I'm saying that I'm going to try to beat. So it's hard to add to this RPG list. Plus, I'm going to still be playing Xenoblade because Xenoblade I'm barely starting right now. So I'm probably going to be into the 2018s up to February still playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch. So it's a big RPG year, dude, and I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna see how much I can get to. I mean, I'm not gonna play as much games, but it's good that these RPGs are coming. RPGs are great for being portable. So if you are just wanna grind a little bit, take it on the go, kill a couple of monsters, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and that's what the Switch is for. It's perfect because especially for RPGs that you have to devote so many hours into them. So if you go on the go, I mean, you go to the doctor's office, go somewhere else, or like I saw one of the celebrities. They were courtside at a Lakers game, not watching the game, but actually playing Super Mario Odyssey. So even when you do that, you can go ahead and take the game with you. But there's one more piece of news. This one not included on here, and it's that Riot is gonna be porting the Wolfenstein 2 version over to the Nintendo Switch. They're the same ones that ported over Doom. And that's really great news. Riot, they're doing a masterful job when it comes to porting the games over to the Switch. So really good news about that one. I'm not sure if you had heard about it, Dantes, but that came out today.
Okay, nope. Thanks for adding that. But we haven't. You haven't finished the list. We haven't covered Bayonetta, right?
No. Bayonetta. We haven't covered that one.
Let's go around because I'm gonna put a little bit of a trailer. So on the Game Awards, they showed two big announcements. The first announcement was that they showed Bayonetta 1 and 2. It's coming on the Switch, so you're gonna have the full collection on the Switch. They did not announce the date, but it is looking good. I mean, I think Bayonetta is a good game. I did not play 2. I have it on the Wii U, meaning to play it because I wanted to go back to Bayonetta 1 and play it on PlayStation. But the PlayStation version of that game suck ass. It runs like crap, Caleones. So it's really hard to just go back and play it. So I might just play the number 1 and 2 on the Wii U. I already have them, and just start from there. And instead it goes then to Bayonetta 3 when it comes out. But the big announcement that I'm going into now, boom, I'm showing it right now, is the teaser trailer for Bayonetta 3, that it is coming exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. Another big exclusive. I know a lot of people think Bayonetta is not that big, and maybe she's not. She's not Dante from Devil May Cry. But I think Bayonetta represents the better gameplay that has evolved from Devil May Cry, which I think Capcom hasn't been able to figure that out. And of course, it's because the Bayonetta is coming from Platinum Games, which a lot of people were there, the ones who created Devil May Cry, right? So I think Devil May Cry, if 5 comes out, should learn a lot from Bayonetta gameplay and maybe improved on it. So I am happy that Bayonetta 3 is coming to the Switch. This was the big surprise, and I'm looking forward to see how it does. First game I think did pretty well, sold close to a million units, million games. So we'll see what happens. Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Caleones, on Bayonetta 3 coming to the Switch?
Well, I mean, it's great news, especially since they're gonna be bringing 1 and 2 as well. That way, anybody that wants to get it, they can get the full collection. And this is a pretty big opportunity because, there's a lot of people. I mean, you got it, but there's a lot of people that did not get Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Wii U. Bayonetta 1 has been available on the PS3, Xbox 360. So most people or some people were already able to, like play it before. But Bayonetta 2 is the one that a lot of people have not played. It was on the Wii U. It sold poorly. The console itself, the game, even though the Wii U only sold like 13 million consoles, the game almost sold like a million copies. So that was a pretty good attach rate when you think about it. But Bayonetta 2 received great scores, great critical acclaim,
Yep.
and
Another 90.
and mhm, yeah, it was a 90 on the Metacritic. So that's why it needs there a lot of more people need to play it. It needs to be played. I'm glad Nintendo's bringing it over, and it also helps with those months that for next year that you did not think if Nintendo was going to have any games releasing or if there's it's going to be pretty much dry their calendar of release. So this is one of those games that they're going to be able to release and state that yes, on February we had another game, and this is talking about 1 and 2. Number 3, we still don't know any more details except for the trailer that you saw. I'm pretty sure that's something that once E3 comes around, we will be seeing it. But for people that really likes action games, fighting games, and it's not necessarily button matches because you can do different combos and things like that. So gameplay is pretty good. So you can have 1, 2, and 3 collected on the system.
Yep, and this is the only time that I don't like porting games over and over from previous generations, but this is the only time that I kind of forgive it, because if you're bringing Bayonetta 3, you want to bring 1 and 2 so everybody has the full collection on the Switch, right? Yeah. And a lot of people did not play the game, so I'll allow it. Anyway, that was a big piece of news. The other piece of news, I don't know if you have it, is of course the NPDs came out. NPDs were close. I feel that all 3 platforms did really well. I think, I don't know if you have the list in front of you, Caleones, but Mario Odyssey was number 6 on the NPDs. It's showing good legs, and again, with no digital and only one platform on it. So that means the Mario Odyssey is really selling really well. Another piece of news, again, that we haven't covered, because again, we took a little bit of a break because of my sickness, but there was a lot of news. Mario Odyssey, I think, has already sold 5 million units already, right?
Yeah, Nintendo released a tweet stating that it had sold 5 million, saying thank you. They didn't really specify if it was physical and digital, or
I'm guessing both together, but yes.
Yeah, if it's coming directly from there, it was probably both of them. But yes, like you said, it was number 6 on the NPD, and that's because they only track physical sales, not digital. At least when it comes to Nintendo, they don't give those numbers. But yeah, overall, we had Super Mario Odyssey as the best-selling Nintendo Switch game, with Mario Kart 8 second, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild third. I'm glad because Skyrim was number 4 out of the top 10 Nintendo Switch games, with Splatoon 2 5, Mario & Rabbids 6, Sonic Forces 7, Doom number 8, which again, I'm glad that those third-party games are up there. Pokken Tournament 9, and Just Dance 2018 number 10. So
yeah, and my expectation is that Bethesda is not waiting to. They don't want to sell 1 million units, no. Right? They just need enough to get the investment back to keep showing support on the Switch.
No, but remember, Nintendo's the one publishing the games.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. So they're doing good. I think they're doing good. Aside from the console side, again, these are fake numbers. I don't know if they're true or not, but this is the rumors going on Reddit. PlayStation 4 sold 1.5 million consoles. The Xbox sold 1.4 million consoles, and the Switch sold 900,000 consoles. But here's the interesting part, Caleones. This does not include, my understanding, Cyber Monday. So the last week in November are not included in the sales data. And as you know, that's one of the reasons I was surprised about this, because Nintendo won Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So this could have been one of the reasons why Nintendo took a little bit of the hit with the sales. Still pretty good numbers all around. And honestly, the only reason the Xbox is so high is because a lot of people bought the X because it came out this month, right? Or last month. So if it wasn't for the X, I'll bet bottom dollar is going to be either PlayStation or Nintendo, and then Xbox number 3, in my opinion. A lot of people rebought the system, basically.
Yeah, but I feel like for Microsoft, it wasn't necessarily the X that sold that big amount. Yes, they were pretty much tracking the pre-orders as well. But The Xbox, I mean S, it was down to like $180 with like a game included and things like that. So that was the one that they were trying to push to make those sales. Same as the PS4. In some cases, they had it down all the way to $180 as well, with like a couple of games, and so they were pushing hard. Um, but yes, the MPD closes on the 26th. The 26th was a Sunday. The 27th, Cyber Monday, was a
So
the 27th was a Monday, so the 27th was not tracked. Anything up until that Sunday was tracked on there.
so that's why I feel that December's MP. I think Nintendo's gonna win
Yeah.
because at that point Sony had ran out of consoles with the $200. And again, you have to give credit where credit is due. Nintendo was selling a $300 console with no price drop. Sony was selling a $200 console with even sometimes a gift card for $50 in return for Target and stuff like that. So they were basically selling the system at $150. So they sold out so fast, and that's what it was the big surprise why Sony sold so well is because, again, you got a popular console with a good price, you're going to sell. And Nintendo kept their normal price, which was expected. We talked about it plenty of times here. No system or no console when launches the same year is going to lower the price. Like people were expecting the Switch to go lower. Come on, peeps. Come on. So I think Nintendo still did really well. 10 million consoles sold. And to put it in perspective, right? Nintendo sold 10 million consoles in 9 months and 4 weeks, something to that extent. Sony sold 10 million consoles in 8 months. It was like 4 weeks difference. So you can see how close Sony and Nintendo has been selling the console, because that's one of the things that we needed to see. I know when we talk about the Colin Moriarty tweet a long time ago was we have to compare sale to sale, month to month, and it seems like the two consoles are neck to neck. Now, again, the question is going to be sustainability, how Nintendo is going to sell next year, because admittedly, Caleones, they have put out all their big guns this year. So we'll see how they do next year. Can Metroid carry if it comes out? Pokemon should carry it if it comes out next year.
Yes.
And any surprises that we are foreseeing. I expect a Pikmin somewhere in there. God damn it. Miyamoto, where's the Pikmin? Where's the Pikmin?
Where's the Pikmin movie?
Well, yeah,
we're still waiting for that one.
But anyway, aside from that, let's close it out saying we're all happy. All the consoles sold really well. I am really happy that Mario Odyssey keeps selling, showing that single player experiences are here to stay. So good MPDs. I'm happy about that. And we're ready to move from the news, Caleones, because that was a lot of news that we're trying to condense as fast as we could here. But I think Caleones, I think it's time to move. I think it's time to go to our favorite store to see what new games have come out. So, Caleones, if I wanted to know what are the Switch hottest games, what is the store you should go and buy it from?
Well, I'm gonna say it is the Shigeru's Mini Mart, but since we kind of like missed like the previous week, we're supposed to talk about it on Saturday, and then we had the other games creeping in as well. We have quite a few games to talk about here.
Just say I'm out. Just bam, 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 bam. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so there's 40 games that we can talk about.
Oh, shit. It's been this long? Oh, damn.
Yeah, so we got to start counting the ones from the 7. So, okay, so we got Boss Talk Incorporated, Touch Battle Tank SP, Sexy Brutal, Tesla Grad, Slaying Back from Hell.
Tesla Grad's good. Go play it. Keep going.
Riptide GP Renegade, Red Game Without a Great Game, Plantera Deluxe, Plague Road, Phantom Break, Battlegrounds Overdrive, a Human Fall Flat, which Inkling G and Inkling B, they love the game. Especially it's a riot playing in multiplayer. Gunbird for Nintendo Switch, Floor Kids, Embers of Myrim, Dimensions Drive, Acorn Tactics, Top Hunter, Roddy and Katie from Neo Geo, Tennis in the Face, The End It's Night, another good indie game as well. Stern Pinball Arcade, Pinball FX3, Party Planet, Yooka-Laylee finally came out on the Switch.
It's the best port of the game. I've been hearing that a lot. So I know that the PS4 and Xbox struggle, yes, but this one supposedly came out really well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those games where they wanted to make sure, because of some of the backlash they had because of the bugs and things like that. They wanted to make sure that once the game released, that it was going to be really worth it, and no news about bugs or anything else like that. So Nintendo is a great home for the game, and it's thankfully, like you said, Dantes, it is the best version. Either way, I hope that they go back and still patch the other games, to get them as high of a quality as this one as well. Because everybody deserves to play a bug-free game. But I'm glad that the game is running well on the Switch. We have Unholy Heights, RXN Raging, Poly Bridge, One More Dungeon, Never Stop Sneaking, Mutant Mugs Collection, Meko Tales, Hammer Watch, Gorgoa, Enter the Gungeon, Bleed, Black the Fall, The Last Blade, Unepic, Romancing Saga 2, Hiragana Pixel Party, and 60 Seconds. One thing I want to say is that the Mutant Musk Collection, it does have 3 games in it. Regular price on the game is $14.99, but because of the release, they're celebrating the game, and they have it at a $9.99 price. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and get the game before it goes back up in price again. But Dantes, for you, what is your game of the 2 week period?
I mean, Tesla Grad, I play that on PlayStation 4, and I recommend it. It's really a good puzzle-based game, platforming game. You're going to have a good challenge. I would recommend that game. Enter the Gungeon. That's something that my son loves. He plays it on PC on Steam, so I think it would be something I'm gonna tell him about and see maybe he wants to play it in a controller instead of a mouse and keyboard, right? So anyway, I think it's 40 games, right? You said 40 games. I think That's a good week. A lot of indies. Again, this platform, I keep saying it. This platform is becoming what the beta should have become. It's giving me AAA experiences with good indie. And what I want to ask Nintendo is to keep protecting your eShop. Don't allow the crap to come in. Don't allow crap like the Tiger game that came to PlayStation. I don't remember the game. What was it called?
That they even advertised it on TV. Like, you're promoting your console with that game as the face of it. I never understood that one.
So I'm asking that Nintendo gives a good quality control and make sure that the crap doesn't come in, so that way indies will flourish in here. And that's where indies love so much the Switch, is because you don't have all that crap on top of it. I am so scared that PSN will become like Steam, because Steam has become a pile of crap right now in finding good games. And it's sad because then indie developers are getting, swallowed by the crap. So Nintendo, keep protecting your store, and you're going to have a lot of quality. Go back to the seal of approval. So if you said that something came in, you're saying it's on your store, it is because it's a good game.
I want to say the game is Life of Black Tiger.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, crap.
It has only one review, only one Metacritic review by Jim Sterling. He gave it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, it's sad that Sony allowed that. That's what I'm hoping that Nintendo kind of uses the old school Nintendo days, where it quality controls their eShop and doesn't allow all this crap to just come in there. But anyway, just an ask, Nintendo, please keep it clean, keep the crap out. But
make it easy to search. Just make it friendly for everybody to find the games that they want, and for the games not to get lost once the AAA game or the Nintendo, the big games start coming out. So keep giving the love to those games, Nintendo.
Yep. Now let's move on, because we're moving fast. Look at that. We're making good time today. Next, Caleones and I like to discuss the hottest topic of the week, in this case, in the last 2 weeks, where me and Caleones go one-on-one and discuss it on Onuma's Nintendo discussion. But what is today's Onuma's Nintendo discussion? Is simple, my friends. Today we're just going to talk about the DLC pack of the Champion Ballads from Breath of the Wild. Good DLC pack, and I'm going to discuss if it's worth the $20. Now that we know the full picture of the DLC pack. So let me put a little bit of gameplay here as we talk about the DLC pack. Anyway, first things that I will start with the DLC pack is that I think the DLC pack kind of the disappointment part. I'm going to say the bad part. The bad part is I think they sold it like there was going to be a lot of story content in the DLC pack, and that did not happen, Caleones. The story is really, really small, and I would say it just adds to the original story. It just explains and shows a little bit more of a background to the champions and how they act. And just a little bit more character development, but that was not kind of like the promise, because they Nintendo mentioned this is gonna be a story pack, and it was not at all. I think it was more of the same, and what I mean with that is they brought the good stuff too, like more shrines, more challenges, and of course one more Divine Beast. So in case it's gonna be a spoiler, so if you haven't played the game, the Champion Ballad, please be aware. So again, it's just saying that the Champion's Ballad, if you were going into it thinking that it was going to be a story, you're going to be disappointed. But if you go and enjoy the shrines that they're putting in the Champion's Ballad, which were awesome, the design of those new shrines were really good, Caleones. The Divine V's, even though I still don't like those micro dungeons, even though this one's a micro dungeon too, it was still well designed. I like each room. What I like about this Divine Beast room was that each room represented kind of one Divine Beast. So you have to resolve the puzzle in that room based on wind, based on water and shit like that, right? So it was kind of houses back to the old school Ganon's castle way, which was you had to resolve in Ocarina of Time, kind of like each area specific from that dungeon, right? So that was cool. The other piece that I think this showed that it was really cool was the challenge of the sword. It was like I don't remember how it's called, a destroyer or something like that. It was a one-hit sword. You could kill any monster with one hit, but here was the challenge, Caleones. The challenge was that they could kill you back with one hit, right? So to open the shrines, so you can continue the story with the Champion Ballads, you have to face like 4 camps of monsters, and then every time you beat the camp, you would get a shrine up. And when you go to that camp, you had to use the destroyer or whatever, the one kill sword, the slayer, whatever it's called. And then again, it was a one-hit sword, so if they hit you back. And I played this in master mode too, so I had to really play carefully when I went into those challenges, because one hit and I was done. And even though this sword gets a one hit, you still have to attack from afar. I use bows and stuff like that to stay away from danger to be able to beat it. But again, once you beat all those 4 shrines of the 4 camps, you get 4 orbs, so you get 1 more heart. I was expecting a little bit more. I wanted to make it 20 hearts, so they left it at 18, I guess. But it is what it is. But it was cool, because then it opens platforms where you go kind of on a fetch quest to trying to figure it out. They give you 3 clues on those platforms, and they tell you go over there, figure it out. And if you figure it out, a new shrine opens up, and they give you an orb of the champion specifically. So you have to collect 3 orbs of the champion. Then you can return to the Divine V's of that champion and face like a shadowy version of the Ganon that you fought on that Divine Beast. So you could face Blight Ganon again, Water Blight Ganon again. But the interesting part is that they would change it up, and you have to fight the monster, but not with your weapons. It's what they gave you. So like with Water Blight Ganon, you could only have 10 arrows, you only had 2 spears, and you only had the water suit on. That was it. So you had to figure out how to beat it. And in master mode, trust me, that was the biggest challenge, because they heal themselves up. So it's not like you can just hit them and waggle on them until you kill them. So I had to use all my arsenal because of master mode to really beat the challenge. And I would say Water Blight Ganon was the hardest one of them all. Once you beat him, the other ones were pretty easy to get through, in my opinion. But still, it was a good challenge doing it in master mode. That's why I went into master mode to do it, because it brings more to the game. I like master mode way better on this game than I like normal mode in reality. Anyway, once you beat the 4 champion, once you beat the Ganon from that Divine Beast, you get then the story showing a little bit more background of the hero. Once you beat all that, then you go and go back to the Resurrection Shrine. Well, you go and face the Divine V's for the last challenge, and then you're gonna get a new boss too in that game. And that boss was pretty cool. I don't want to spoil what was the boss, but let's just say it was one ass-kicking monk for sure. And it was a good boss fight. But what is your award? Here's the funny part. What is your award for finally beating the game or beating the boss? Was a motorcycle. So now yeah, go ahead.
So not the same reaction that you had when you finally got all 900 car seats.
No, at least I got a motorcycle out of it. The 900 car seats, I got a shit. So I mean, at least that's a positive, right? So I will say that the motorcycle was cool. The bad part about it is because I did everything in the game, Caleones. It was a little bit sad because there's not much use to it. I wish I had the motorcycle like sooner so I can enjoy it more. So as soon as I get it, I was like, oh, I ran it around for a little bit. Oh, it's cool. Okay, I'm done. So so it probably would have been more useful if I would have
Like,
been
hey,
playing
let me
the
take it for a
game.
ride. Or okay, yeah, I'm gonna just park it in the garage again. I don't want it to get dirty or anything.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. This is the bad part of DLC, Caleones, because if I would have played the game now, this Christmas with all the DLC together, it would have been a more complete, more funner experience, in my opinion, right? That's why I don't like DLC too much. Going back to it, it still was fun. It's just I don't enjoy certain things about it, like the motorcycle. I could have enjoyed it a little bit more. But that was it. That was the Champions Ballad. To me, it ran me around 15 hours. That's another 15 hours of game that added to the game. A lot of people probably out there beat it faster, but you know how I am. I take my sweet ass time trying to find everything that I could. So it took me 15 hours to do it.
Plus, you did it on master mode as well.
Yeah, I did it on master mode too. All the fun part is that they lower the 100% completion. So like when I came back to the game, they took my 100% completion, and the problem is that my 100% is in the normal mode, but I beat it on master mode. So right now I don't have my 100%. So at some point I need to go back to master mode, to normal mode and beat it just to get my 100% back. But that was it. I thought now the full package of the DLC. Let me talk about that. So the DLC, it was three phases. The first phase, they gave you some items. Second phase was the Master Sword Challenge and Master Mode. And the third phase was this story DLC, if you want to call it that way. I would just call it more shrines and more stuff to do. But I think it's worth the $20. I think it was enough content in there. I love the Master Sword Challenge because it gave me the Master Sword to be a little bit more powerful, something useful, instead of just losing power every 5 hits. So I was happy to be using the Master Sword all the time. And at the same time, got me to the Master Sword Challenge, which was fun to do. And I beat it on both Master Mode and normal mode just to have fun with it. And I think Master Mode really helped the game to be even more better. I think Master Mode is what made that game, for me, being Game of the Year, because it really changed how you play the game, getting the Master Sword and using it for real, because in normal mode, if you have the Master Sword all the time, it's just going to make the game too easy. So again, I like that a lot. And then, of course, this DLC, yeah, I wish there was more story content, but you know what they added was fun. Shrines were really really fun, really smart, and I enjoyed them. So again, I thought the $20 were worth it as the full package. But again, I'm still against DLC, even though the game was already made, because then you lose, kind of like using the motorcycle and stuff like that. But still, Caleones, I would say overall, good DLC. You got any questions about the DLC?
So basically, you're saying that the DLC was more Nintendo, like not necessarily more story, but more gameplay and more fun as well. So that was a pure Nintendo DLC type.
Yep.
Well, I guess the question would become, when it comes to the different scores and things like that. If you were to grade the DLC pack separately, this one, the Champions Ballad, what would you give it?
I would give it an 8 because I guess because of the promise of more story, and that wasn't the case, right? So the whole DLC pack, I will give it an 8. I think it was a good companion to the main game. You don't need it. You can beat the game without it. I admit that. But I think the DLC pack so I'll put it this way. The DLC pack itself makes the game, it's an 8. But the DLC adds to the main game, which makes the main game close to a 10 in my eyes. So see the difference? It's kind of like, yeah, the DLC pack is only an 8, but if you add it to the main game, it becomes a 10.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna have to tell the people listening here, since you get the DLC pack separately, an 8, but if you add it with the game, what score do you give the game now?
I will give it a 10.
That's it.
I would give it a 10. Yes, I would give it a 10. I think the adds the Master Sword Challenge was really fun, and I liked it a lot. Again, gave me the Master Sword that I wanted. And weapon durability, I still hate it. That's always gonna take points away from that game. But with the Master Sword Challenge, kind of gave me that close enough sword that you don't need to replenish it every 5 seconds, right? And then this new DLC with the last Divine Beast, I had a lot of fun in that last boss fight against that fighting monk. It was really awesome, dude. So I would say it's close to a 10. Maybe not a 10 itself. I don't like give games 10, but I think it's close to a 10 as possible for this year for sure.
Okay. Well, so I mean, if you don't give it a 10, are there any other games that you would consider having a 10 over in?
On this generation? Or this year?
So, the last 5 years.
5 years. The only games that I would consider a 10 that I played in the last 5 years would be The Last of Us and Last of Us. I think is the only game that I would consider a 10, and maybe Xenoblade Chronicles 1, maybe. I don't know if it's been 5 years since I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but we're talking about two of my favorite games of all time, and I think Breath of the Wild with the DLC and what they did, I would put it in the top 10 of my games of all time. Caleones, I think it's a good game. I know a lot of people get crap. They said it's an overrated game. Yeah, there's some weaknesses. No game is perfect, right? Last of Us has a lot of weaknesses too. Xenoblade Chronicles has a lot of weaknesses too. But in the grand scheme of things, what I look into it is that I had a lot of fun. And here's the biggest blessing I could give this game, Caleones. I spent over 370 hours on the game. 370 hours on the game, right? That to me tells me that I had a lot of fun in it. I had a good time in it, and it would made the Nintendo Switch so special for me this year. I could play little by here. We want to do something. I can watch TV, but I could also play a little bit of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I think that the game deserves there. Is it over Ocarina of Time? That's another question for another day. But it's a good damn game. Gameplay wise, at least, it's a good damn game. And if they took weapon durability away from it, I think I would have loved this game even more. But it is what it is. I liked it a lot, and I think in the last 5 years we've been playing really good games. I don't look at the past, Caleones. I am happy to move forward. Xenoblade Chronicles replaced Final Fantasy for my best RPG of all time, right? Or Xenogears. Last of Us replaced a lot of storytelling games that I loved over the years. Showing that what you can do with the medium, right? And then of course, Zelda Breath of the Wild to me reinvented what open world games should be, and how you can make them fun. Again, a lot of people think it's overrated. I don't think so. I think it's a great game. You're on mute.
I guess like one of the things that I was I wrote an article for Shigeru News back in January where I actually called Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild the most important launch title since Halo on the Xbox. Well, I know you're not a first-person shooter fan or anything like that, but people cannot really they can't deny what Halo did for the Xbox brand, and that the game single-handedly helped Microsoft in that first year be relevant as a game maker and still be alive today. So I credit Halo for single-handedly being able to push the Xbox brand when it first came out. And I think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild did the same thing with the Nintendo Switch. I don't think not even Super Mario Odyssey could have done what Breath of the Wild did for the Switch on March 3rd when the system launched, with that game included in it. So Super Mario Odyssey, it's a great game. As a game, I believe it's probably better than Breath of the Wild. But and when
it's
you
more
consider
polished.
Breath of the Wild,
It's
more polished. But you can't really deny what Breath of the Wild has done for open world games, and it's something that we're going to see more and more. How it influences other games that are in development right now or will be in development later on. So I'm glad that looking back into it, that it was able to perform that well, and that it continues to carry the Switch. Gave it a great push until finally. Mario Kart 8 was able to grab some of it. Splatoon 2 was able to grab some of the weight, and Super Mario Odyssey grabbed and pushed it through the holidays as well. So that was the best decision Nintendo could have made. It was to hold the game until it launched for the Switch. But
I agree with that. I mean, Nintendo had a great first year. To me, I don't know how Nintendo's gonna top this year for me. I mean, they put out every game that I love from Nintendo. I mean, you got Odyssey, which again, Breath of the Wild had the bigger impact, no doubt about it. But Odyssey is still a great game. It's still a great game. I don't put it over Galaxy, but it's still a great game. And then, of course, Xenoblade Chronicles is a really good game. I know I have some issues with it, but I think it's going to get better. Mario Kart came out. Another good game. I'm not a fan of Splatoon, but I know I see you guys enjoy Splatoon 2 so much that I think it shows that, again, putting Splatoon the first year. That's the new, to me, the new third pillar for Nintendo is Splatoon 2 now. How well it's sold in Japan and all that stuff. And, of course, they trickle it in with the Pokken fighting game. And you know, they had new IPs like ARMS, they're giving like a season 2 now. They came out. Also another news that we missed, but they gave a season 2 to ARMS. So Nintendo's did the first year. They stack up the lineup really well, and then again they had a lot of sprinkle of indie games. So to me, Nintendo killed it this year. That's what I'm kind of worried about next year, but we'll see. I want to give it a chance. There's gonna be a couple of directs showing up. I'm hoping that they pump me up like they did this year, but you know, I really love the Switch. I have to admit it. Like, it is, to me, it is a great console. Yeah, it has some weaknesses. Who cares? At the end of the day is you take the console, that you have fun with it. And right now, if you count all the hours that I put on the Switch, I put 350 hours or 370 hours, whatever it was, to Breath of the Wild. I put over 100 hours to Mario Odyssey. I put over close to 50 hours on Mario and Rabbids. I forgot about that game. That's another good game that came out this year. I already put 25 hours on Xenoblade Chronicles. I already did 10 hours on Sonic Mania, right? And if I could count it, I did like 10 hours on Mario Kart. So I have spent a lot of hours this year with that system, taking away my plats on PlayStation, which is the biggest credit I have to give to Nintendo. They are pulling me out from my main console of choice.
Yep. At some point, you're going to have to like show the people on this channel your list of the games that you have scheduled that you're going to be playing throughout the year, and see how you're going to deviate from that list. So I'm going to make that one of the New Year's resolutions for you to do a video, show the people what games you're going to be playing, and then at the end of the year, show the list again of how you deviated from it.
I already deviated. Like, there was 8 games that I had planned for PlayStation to play this year, and I had to reshuffling for next year. So Nintendo already took a lot of time of my gaming time, which is fine. That's always been the case. Like, Nintendo's always pulled me out of Sony's, and they kept me more neutral. Like, Nintendo always does a good job. The Wii, even though a lot of people give crap to the Wii pulled me out consistently. I don't give a crap about people saying the Wii sucked. The Wii had Xenoblade Chronicles, Last Story, Pandora's Tower, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. It had Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess. It had the Metroid Collection 1, 2, and 3. It had Resident Evil 4, was the best version with the Wii mode. It had New Super Mario Brothers, another good game. It had, and I don't care what people say, it's a good 2D Mario game. So it had Smash. I don't know why they hate on the Wii. I really don't know. I know it was SD and the games looked like ass, but the artistic styling on those games what really pulled them through. So I love the Wii. Yeah, the Wii U, I admit, I'm not a huge fan of the Wii U, but Nintendo always has pulled you out because they make good games, and that's what matters at the end of the date, my friends. Anyways, I think we went on a tyrant there at the end, Caleones. Are we ready to close this? Or you got any other questions about the DLC?
No, I mean, you already gave us a score. I think we're pretty good on this one. So go ahead and tell us. And close it out.
Close it out. Well, like always, let's put some outro music here, because I like to close it out with my... Oh, I love the music on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's something I have to give a credit to the game. Game has great music. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us at the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast, episode 27. Every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back in full force next year, and we will meet the schedule. I know it's a little bit off all over the place, but we will meet the schedule. Also, we will have some content here and there. It's going to trickle in the next 2 weeks while we're on vacation. So you can stop by, please say hello and have some fun. Also, please remember to subscribe, like, and comment. You can make this to Crazy MS happy. Also, remember, if you don't want to see ugly faces, we got a solution for you. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download this podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, go to our Facebook page at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, I'm happy to be back. The voice is still not there 100%, but I'm happy to be back. And thank you, Caleones, for having me back here. And we're ready to kick ass. 2018 is going to be even better. And with you guys' support, I think we can get this channel really far. And I really, really, really appreciate all the loving that you have shown us in 2017. So thank you again, guys. See you guys. Have a good one.
Have a great one, everyone.